Hello, YTPC. This is Gary, the Gentleman Scholar. I just wanted to say hello. Uh, Armchair Piper allowed me the honor of sending him a Christmas card this year. As one of his videos just taught us, he's really into Christmas, and I'm into Christmas too. I make my own cards. I mean, I'm not decorating the house in like tinsel and everything like that, but I do like the season. I like the songs, the music, the religious aspect, the secular aspect. So, the movies. I just like it all, to be honest. The only thing I don't like is the shopping frenzy that comes with it, so I tend to ignore that as much as possible. Excuse me. But it's a time when you basically like reach out to people you care about that you normally wouldn't talk to every day. So hence the Christmas cards. Although this year I might have to cut them back quite a bit because this year's been kind of hard financially. So I'm going to keep it to my core people, I think. A lot of people at work like getting one, but only the people that really enjoy the card and look forward to it are going to get them. Because, yeah, there's just too many. And postage is a killer. But anyway, um, it's Saturday, the 10th of September. Uh, Bill's son is coming to see us for the first time in like, geez, something like 3 months. So we're just kind of sort of we're cleaning the house. I should be cleaning the house. I should be like sweeping the downstairs landing, but I'm on my second beer, and it's not even noontime yet. Oh, it might have just turned noontime. It's called functioning alcoholism, and I'm okay with it, really. So I'm only half kidding. Anyway, so what's been going on? Okay, number one, I just did 2 trips this week in and out of the Raleigh-Durham area. The first trip involved rainstorms and everything like that, so the interminable waiting began. So I just buried myself in a book and I started another one on my Kindle. That's what you do. Some advice for you travelers out there. If you find that you're delayed, stuck in a storm, or events beyond anyone's control delays your flight, find something to do to make the time pass, because the more you stew on it, the more aggravated you're going to get, and the more you're going to want to like lash out at someone who's not responsible for it. So just find a way to if you're a reader, find a great book and just dive into it. If you like music, listen to music, um, because the situation doesn't change. This is a hard lesson I had to learn. The situation doesn't change just because you get pissed off at it or others that you think are representative of the problem, which they're not. They're just another piece in the machine that we're all stuck in. Anyway, Queen Liz II passed away, and I have to say, it kind of shocked me a little bit. No, not really. I just didn't think it was going to happen that soon. I was heading down to Boston for my second trip, and I heard the news, and of course, I didn't want to follow the news 24/7 to be inundated with it, but I would dip in and out from time to time. And of course, the internet's all all abuzz with it. And of course, you have the people who really respected the Queen and the monarchy, and other people who dislike it as an institution, and basically take the opportunity to, I don't want to say negative things, but we'll politely call them criticisms. And well, my whole thing is this: it's about empathy, it's about respect, and I love the Brits immensely, and by extension, that goes to the Queen. That love goes to the Queen. So yeah, I'm empathetic. I'm respectful. I sent condolences, a group condolence to all my British friends, and some were like, "For what?" It's a really heavy-duty anti-loyalist. Well, that's fine. Whatever. You have the right to express yourself, but I'm gonna choose. Respect and a bit of empathy. That's because, hey, she's been queen all of my life. She's all I've ever known as queen. I mean, all you ever hear about is the Queen and her family all throughout my life, and yeah, so it's just kind of been a lifelong institution. So yeah, it's kind of a big change. What else? Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Um, a lot of people have been a buzz about that. I have Amazon Prime, thanks to my Amazon account, Prime account, Amazon streaming. So yeah, it's on there. It's there for me to see, but I'm kind of afraid to see it because I really like the Lord of the Rings movies, and of course, I like the books very much. I'm not like a super hardcore fan. I can't tell you the lineage of all the elven families or whoever. I have friends who can do that. But I have a great respect for Professor Tolkien's work because he's a philologist. And a philologist is a professor of languages. So he would create his own language, create a language, and then he would create the people that would speak the language, and then create a history for the people who spoke the language. And that's how slowly, incrementally, his legendarium was built, which were eventually all compiled into something called the Silmarillion, which is the Bible, if you like, of Middle Earth, of which Lord of the Rings is like the tiniest little sliver at the end of all of that, as we enter the age of man, which I guess is us. But yeah, I can't tell you the origin of. I can't tell you. I know how Middle Earth was created through a song. Someone sang the world into life. Like a lot of creation myths happen. But I've tried reading the Silmarillion. It's this big, dense superstructure book explaining the whole history of Middle Earth. And one day I'll tackle it. Probably before I tackle Moby Dick, because I've tried to tackle Moby Dick twice. And it's just too dense for me, or it's just, well, let's face it, it's written for a different century. Do you know what I mean? And I don't need to read an entire chapter on whaling and the culture of whaling and the different types of whales, and yeah, it's all inclusive, immersive, and it takes the attention span that I don't have. I'll just put it that way. But anyway, the Rings of Power, I'm kind of reluctant to see it because I'm wedded to the movies and I'm wedded to the books, and I'll probably, if I do see it, I'll wait till everything drops. I'll wait till the first season drops, and then I'll go ahead and do it and see it with this. But it's gonna, I don't know. I'm just afraid of it really sucking. I guess that's the term. It's like, ooh, I improved it a little bit. It's like the Matrix movies. I love the first Matrix. A classic. It had a lot of themes in it that I was already familiar with. What is reality? Everything's fake. The Wachowski brothers, now sisters. The Wachowski brothers, they magpied a lot of sources to create the Matrix. Video games, anime, philosophers of different bents. The whole thing, they swirled it into one gigantic action movie epic. Then you got the sequels, Reloaded and Revolutions. Not perfect, but there are a lot of good ideas in there. And then Resurrections came out. And I don't know. Keanu Reeves was in it. Carrie Ann Moss was in it. And it really just kind of like fell flat for me. It made me sad because I was just I really loved The Matrix a lot, and then this. It almost has the feeling of a tax write-off movie. And yeah, it tries a little stab at meta. Basically, the plot involves like a video game designer doing the Matrix 4, and they want, they're mentioning characters. People want the classics. They want throwbacks. So they're trying to do the whole meta thing, self-referential meta thing by and it's just sloppy. I just thought it was very, very, very sloppy. And if we give the appearance of being clever and being meta, then that's enough. So I don't know. Anyway, that's what I'm afraid will happen if I see Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. I'll have to ask Armchair Piper about that, Ed. He's big into, every time you see one of his videos, he's always playing the Howard Shore soundtrack to one of the movies. So yeah, other than that, nothing going on. Last burst of summer here up in southern New Hampshire. all is well. Got a few days off. Um, just gonna read and keep on writing as a practice. It's important to write every day, and for the most part, I've been good with that. But I'm still trying to figure out how do I turn ideas into a story. That's what I'm trying to tease out. I've got a short story, a Halloween short story I've been working on, but then I got stuck on one of the characters. Like, she's supposed to be a witch, and she's made herself young again. So how do I make that work in the context of the story? And I guess that's what world building and story building is. You basically have to find the right ideas. It, I don't mean to sound creativity sound like a factory process, but if you're going to create a story, sometimes you have to borrow from here or borrow from here, and you have to arrange. It does take a sort of a craftsmanship, and creativity is not. It's not an assembly line, so it can work like an assembly line. You can create a methodology for it, but you get add this, and bzz, story machine. It is possible to create art, to mix art with commerce. There's an overlap with that Venn diagram. I think the Marvel movies do a great job of that. It's commerce for. You can't look at one of those Marvel movies and tell me that, oh wow, that's fantastic cinema, because it's not. It's McDonald's cheeseburger territory. But you care about those characters and how they bring these characters to life to the screen, and there's an ongoing storyline there in their shared universe. That's what I watch for, because it's some of those movies just don't do it for me. But there's one huge ongoing story happening, and that's what I'm there for. I don't know if you call that modular storytelling or superstructure storytelling or what. But anyway, I just hit 12 minutes. We all have things to do, but I just want to say hello. I hope you're all well. I should be down firing up a pipe sooner or later, and we'll chat soon. All the best to you.